So last time out, we started the season off very well. Have we managed to continue that form into this first quarter of the season? Let's find out, shall we? Welcome back to Buxton 2.0. So you can see on the screen that no, things have not carried on quite as well as they started in that first episode. We did win our first game off camera, beating Barnet 2-1, McConnell and Stewart scoring either side of a Connor Washington goal to give us all 3 points there. But then a horrendous run of form, losing 3-1 to Boreham Wood. Stewart scoring for us in this one, 2 from Oakley, 1 from Kelly Evans, gave them all 3 points. And then 2 from Luke Charman gave File the victory, Stewart scoring for us once again. For back-to-back 1-0 defeats to Gateshead with James Taylor scoring and Scarborough Athletic with Thompson scoring. We beat Rochdale 4-2, we lost 4-2 even. 2 from Stewart, 2 from Odder and 2 from Tolaj. Gave them all 3 points there as well. And then back-to-back 1-0 defeats once again. Hartlepool beat us 1-0 with Melvin Lambert in the 87th minute. And Kuyar scored for York to give them all 3 points there as well. We did beat Aldershot 4-1, James Norris scoring a penalty. Coulson equalised in a very late hat-trick from Turner Cook, giving us all 3 points. Stevenson sent off in stoppage time as well. And then we did lose once again to Solihull Moors 2-0. Slater Stewart this time sent off a second bookable offence. Andrew Dallas scoring both goals there. So league-wise, we are down in 19th place, only out of the relegation zone on goal difference. 7 points off playoffs already and 13 points off of top already as well. So yeah, things have dropped off quite a bit since that promising start to the season. We do play Southport in the FA Cup for the qualifying round, and then we'll play Bromley in this episode as well. And this is what we're going with at the moment. We do have a cautious direct counter-attacking style which we've adopted in the past few games. Obviously Stewart is suspended, so we've got Miles in goal, Hanks, Brisley, Pepper, Monroe as the back four, Maguire, Alcock and Blazic in the midfield three, Tasmania on the right, Price on the left and Harry Smith up top. And I do believe that Southport are in the division below us. I think they're in the National League North. I think having a decent season as well, from what I remember. We do bring in Richie Pepper as well this time around, which I probably should have shown you him before we got into it. He has come up through the youth team and he looks decent. He does look decent. We are rotating a fair bit for these cup games. I am going to tell them to relax and play the natural game. We have upset a couple of players with that, but lifted the pressure on a couple of the others as well. Price and Smith coming to it complacent despite our poor run of form. You can see Southport have won 3, drawn 1, lost 1 in their last 5, playing a 4-4-2 with Casey Petit in the central midfield, of course. Released him this time last year after an awful performance in the FA Cup. So will he come back to bite us this time around? Probably is the answer to that. We do have a highlight straight from kickoff here. I don't think I've changed anything. I haven't. I have been playing around, off camera, doing a bit longer highlights to see what we can improve on. It's Smith in behind and shoots from range, and Mason parries it and gets onto it at the second attempt. Cameron Mason, did we have him at one point as well? I'm pretty sure I've had him on one of my saves before, and I can't remember which one. And Landers is in behind, and he shows Harry Smith how to do it. Sam Landers has given Southport the lead after 35 seconds of this game. It's a lovely volley from him, but far too easy. Just that long ball downfield. Landers wins the header. Peak knocks it over the top and just gets the beating of Peppers. One touch, sits up for him and loops that volley over Miles into the back of the net. And it is 1-0 Southport. And we are going to be doing some very early demanding of more here. Hanks with the throw-in. Tasdemir. Back to Hanks. He looks forward once again. Smith isn't going to get anywhere near that. Mason easily picks it up and throws it out this time. Francis Angol looks over the top. but it's going to go straight through to Miles, who clears downfield again. Smith's not going to get there, and he's not particularly challenging. I know he's a sort of a target man, but he needs to be running. And here is Durnley, who again, if it's the one I think it is another former player. And Kelly, it's one. It is just wide. I should have paid more attention to this Southport team. Is it? It is Zach Durnley. So of course he did used to play for us as well. Cameron Mason did not. It must be a different save I was thinking of them. But a couple of former players of ours in this Southport side. Hanks with the throw once again. Here's Smith. Crosses towards back post. McDowell heads clear. Monroe. Can he find a ball in? He plays it to Blazic, who kills one. But it's high and wide as well. And we are only 6 minutes into this game. We've had plenty of highlights already. And of course, that early goal for Southport leaves us chasing the game here. Brisley wins the header. Alcott to Tasdemir. Looks for Smith through the centre, but Palmer gets there to knock it back to his goalkeeper, Mason, who plays it back to Palmer. Petit's now. Not really closed down. Looks over the top for Landers, who I believed was offside. And the goal has counted, and we are 2-0 down. And Casey Petit has the assist here. I think the right back might have been playing him on. I think Hanks may have been a little bit deeper than the centre backs. I don't know if we're going to see. We're not. So he wasn't as close as I thought it was, apparently. We're going to berate, though, here. Because, yeah, we are 2-0 down inside, 16 minutes now. And struggling. We really are struggling. Price looks forward for Smith, who doesn't really win the header. Francis Angol clears downfield, and Landers is in behind. Once again, pulls across for Durnley, who fires wide. That's a huge miss from Zach Durnley there. Should have been 3-0 and probably should have put the game to bed. And you can see what we're trying to do. We are trying to hit Smith, but it's just not working. And Peppers is beaten once again by Landers, and Peppers is struggling. Landers goes around the keeper and completes his hat-trick. And I think we are going to change things here. Richie Pepper is going to come off with Hughes. No, he's not. We are going to bring on Pyatt instead. Gibson Hammond's going to come on up front as well. We are going to make 2 changes after 19 minutes here, because this is probably our worst performance of our entire time at the club, and we've had some bad performances. Landers just beats his tackle, and yeah, he doesn't even make a move to beat Miles. He just keeps running and Miles just falls over. I would be very surprised if we have our job much longer, unless we can really turn this around. Palmer to McLeese. He looks for Durnley. Hanks clears up. Blazic is on a booking. Alcock out for Tasdemir, who plays a good ball to Price, who's in, and it's a good save from Mason. And there's just no pressure. Absolutely no pressure on the ball at all. It's disappointing. It's horrific. We are throwing a water bottle. We have demotivated everyone there. I don't really know what we do. Bring on Turner Cook up front as well and go to the 4-2-4 basically. I don't know. I mean, that is what we're doing, so yeah. I think we still do have a couple of subs left because it is the FA Cup. We're allowed to make 5, but I don't really know what we can do. I don't really believe in anyone on the bench that can come on and change this, as Landers goes close to another. Oh no, it is only 3 subs. Okay. So this is the team that we are going with for the second half then, because we have made all of our changes. We're going to go very attacking. Turner Cookie's in behind here. Good block, and it just loops in hands of Mason, who quickly looks downfield, and Landers potentially was in there, but that is the end of that highlight. And yeah, Sam Landers really has torn us apart in this game. We've had 8 shots, 2 on target, but you can see we haven't had a great XG. We are just being really completely outplayed. We've had more of the ball, we just haven't done enough with it. Kelly blocked and Maguire clears. Turner Cook isn't going to get there. Switch of play to find Peak. Back to McDowell. And Monroe was given away a penalty. Burnley scores against his former club. It's 4-0. And yeah, that's going to be us out of the FA Cup at the 4th qualifying round once again. Miles gets his hand to it and he goes through his body. I mean, when he's there, it's to save your feet. You have to save that with your feet. It's not good enough from any single person on this pitch. Player has a 7.1 rating. He's been booked. He's the best player on our team in this game. And he's not particularly close. Alcock is on a 6.7 as well. Gibson Hammond shoots from range and that goes over the bar. But Brisley was 6.0. He's been crying for first team football. Clearly not earned it here. He's dropping between a 5.9 and a 6. Price on a 6.1. It's just embarrassing. And the thing is, we know these players can play. We've seen it. We know what they can do. But Brisley's going to get sent off now. Well done. Well done, Brisley. That is your time at this club done. I think it's time to retire, mate. But as I was saying, I'm not making any changes. Screw that. Confidence is such a huge thing. You go on a poor run and it's just so difficult to get out of that rut and put a couple of wins together to start raising that confidence once again. And that is what my task is to do, is to find the team, the tactic, whatever it may be, to get us to put a couple of wins together and raise that morale. Tazdemir pulls one back. It's 4-1. We've got 90 seconds left. I mean, we've played better with 10 men. Says a lot, doesn't it? It's going to be full time. It's 4-1. We are throwing another water bottle. Individual Brisley, Yuri's with you. And yeah, I can't see when a new win and next win is coming. It's terrible. It really is terrible. We're playing Bromley next in the league. So for our second game of the episode, we're switching to a 4-4-2. Because, you know, if there's one thing I do in this series, is flip-flop between tactics. Yeah, I hold my hands up. I can't find one that I like that works. That's the thing. So we're going to try out a 4-4-2 because, you know, we're lower league football. We are going to be trying playing a bit more possession-based than, you know, your typical long ball in non-league, even though it's not really that way anymore. We've got Roberts in goal, Hughes and Monroe as the wing-backs, Hanks and Apaya as ball-playing defenders, McConnell and Norris are both wingers, Stevenson's a centre midfielder on attack, and Blazic are going to be in a roaming playmaker role. And then we're going with 2 advanced forwards, Stewart and Dixon, mainly because I think he gets the both out of both of them. And I've seen quite a few people say that 2 advanced forwards seems to work decently on this year's game. I normally wouldn't have 2 roles the same together. You know, I wouldn't have 2 playmakers, for example, or 2 advanced forwards, but we're going to trust the FM community that it works and see how things go today at home against Bromley in the league. You can see how poor our form has been. 1 win, 4 defeats in 5. And Bromley come into this game with 1 win, 4 draws in 5. So wins are at a premium for both teams so far this season. Bromley currently sit up in 9th place, however, they are 6 points ahead of us. The thing is, at this stage of the season, this early on, if you can put a couple of wins together, you shoot up that league, things look rosy once again. So, like I mentioned last time out, that first of all is the target, both for morale and my job security. Monroe is on the ball here, cuts back into Norris, and back to Monroe once again. Norris has a bit of space if he can find a through ball. Instead, he goes all the way back to Roberts. Paya, Blazic. Bit of space to run into, does well there. McConnell out on that right hand side, can he find a cross? He plays it for Dixon, who finds Stewart. We have the lead of the game. Leighton Stewart back from his ban, finds the back of the net via the post, and do advance forwards, off to a good start here. McConnell does so well. Blazic did well as well to find that space, turn into it. It's a lovely ball for Dixon, who holds it up and finds that pass across to Stewart, who tucks it into that bottom corner to give us the lead early on into this game. I do want to just change this back to the league table. I hate that it doesn't go back after cup games. Bromley down in 12th place at the moment. We move up to 17th. 13 games in the season, a long way to go. We don't really pay too much attention to the table at the moment. Leonard with a free kick out for Richards. Harker. Paya steps in, wins the ball well. Hanks now. Blazic, McConnell, who's looked dangerous when we've seen him in this game. Dixon, Stewart, McConnell has space if he can find him. He's found Dixon instead. Can Dixon make it 2? Yes, he can. Will Dixon gets his first goal of the season and his first goal for the club as well. Gives us 2-0, and both advance forwards have assisted each other in the opening 22 minutes of this game. Dixon did so well. It wasn't the best ball from Stewart. He was a little bit behind him, had to slow down. But his first touch is decent, and his finish is very, very good. And we do have a 2-goal advantage, and Bromley have not had a shot yet in this game in this opening half an hour. And yeah, things are looking decent. We have had Hanks on a booking. We do have Get Stuck in on, and a couple of players have got Tackle Harder on as well. So if needs be, we can ease them off of that. But we do go in at half time with the score at 2-0. They don't allow complacency to creep in. They've allowed complacency to creep in. Dixon is anxious. There we go. We've improved him. And we are going to challenge Norris and Monroe. That hasn't quite gone that well. We are just going to praise a couple of other players. And I think we take both Paya and Hanks off Tackle Harder, with them being on that booking each. So Bromley did manage 1 shot in the end in that first half. We haven't really had many shots ourselves, but 3 shots on target, 2 goals. I'm not going to complain too much of that. Richards to Leonard, he looks forward. We should with that header. We don't. Harker wins it, but there's nobody to run onto it. Paya to Blazic. Stevenson looks for Norris, finds him. Switches it for Dixon. McConnell has acres of space here. McConnell into the area. Is he going to hit one? He does, but it wasn't the best shot in the world. And we've just over half an hour to go. We are going to go make some changes now. Paya is going to switch with Stevenson, and Alcock is going to come on in there. We will also take off Blazic from Maguire. And I think we're going to take off Dixon for... Who do we take him off for? Gibson Hammond. So all 3 changes made. And we still have the 2-goal advantage. We haven't had a highlight yet in this second half. But to be perfectly honest with you, with the score at this, we don't mind that too much. McConnell beats his man, switches it for Stewart. That's a wonderful ball. It wasn't the best touch though. Leonard clears, but only to Norris. First time into Stewart. for Gibson Hammond. It's a good save from Jake Turner, but Gibson Hammond had just strayed offside there. And yeah, it's been a decent performance for us. It has been a decent performance. Let's not take anything away. Bromley haven't been in best form, but they have been unbeaten in at least their last 5 games. So Alexander in behind. Hughes does well. Agatis finds a cross towards Alexander. It's a wonderful ball. It's off the bar. And Monroe clears out for a corner ball. It was a great ball in, a wonderful header. Perhaps a bit unlucky for Bromley there. Williams now at the corner. And the header goes well and truly over that time. We get a goal kick. And we've had 1 shot on target from Bromley. So defensively, we've done a lot better than that last game where we conceded 4. And yeah, we're just sort of seeing this game out at this point. Roberts with the short goal kick to Hanks. Alcock, Norris, who has only got 6.5 on the match rated, but he's looked decent. McConnell to Maguire, and Hughes makes that run ahead of him. Switches play to Norris. There's a lot of switching the play going on today. Norris cuts inside. Back to Maguire, who tries to find Norris once again, but Quirk is going to get there. It's not a great ball, but fortunately Richards gets his header to it. Now a switch of play for Bromley. Nerfield to Bennings. And Monroe does well to get back there. Cut that ball out, but then loses it out to Joliffe. Nerfield gets past Monroe into the area. Forced wide. To Williams on the edge of the area. And Morgan Williams has a goal back. It is 2-1. And just like that, it sets up a very nervy ending to the game. Nerfield does well. And then finds Williams, who just hovers on the edge here. And as soon as that pass is played, makes a run and slams that one into the roof of the net. Lovely finish. We are going to drop cautious. We've asked for some focus. 3 additional minutes. Hanks with the free kick. Alcock to Maguire. Gibson Hammond. Hughes on this near side. Plays one in behind from McConnell. Back to Hughes. Maguire. Hughes. Cross comes in. Alcock's header off the bar and in. And that has removed all of that nervy ending tension. It's 3-1. It's his first goal for the club. It's a victory for Buxton. And, you know, we've only played 1 game in this system. But at the moment, a tactical change is paid off. It's a 100% winning record from the 4-4-2. So, bonus that we do get out with a victory. It's nice to see that. Tell them to not become too uncomfortable. It's made a couple players uncertain, but we need to try and stamp out any signs of complacency as early as possible. We know there's been such an issue in my tenure at the club. We do remain 6 points off of playoffs as it stands. We move up into 17th place now, just 3 points behind Bromley, who dropped to 11th after that game. And yeah, it was nice to see. It was very nice to see there. Dixon, given the man of the match, we will give him some praise. And in terms of when we come back next, we don't really give the FA Trophy much love, so I think we'll do Torquay and whoever we get in the FA Trophy in Wednesday's episode. If you enjoyed this, please do subscribe to the channel. We're so close to 400 subscribers. I don't know what's happened over the past month and a half, but we have been getting some insane numbers in terms of subs, likes, views have been ridiculously high. So thank you to every single person that's been sharing the content around. I cannot tell you how much I do appreciate it. So let's see if we can hit that 400 sub mark, shall we? It feels unreal to say. It really does. But I know it may not have seemed like much of a change, but I think it pays a little bit of testament to how I've changed the videos up in terms of recording and outputting them. But yeah, enough of that. We're going to end on a high with a victory. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you Wednesday for another couple of crucial games. Bye-bye.